Hey guys, how's it going? It's Sean. Recently, we've all heard the sad news of Lee Sun-gyun taking his own life after a barrage of media attacks and an ongoing drug investigation. Drugs, of course, being very illegal in South Korea. As far as I know, at the time of making this video, we're still not sure exactly which of the claims against him are true. Nonetheless, as we've seen in many situations all around the world, it seems as if we are living in a guilty until proven innocent society, where people working in media and citizens online using social media are very quick to harshly judge others' actions, especially if they're celebrities. Everyone is hungry for blood these days. So this made me think, where is the line when it comes to supporting someone who does something that you don't agree with? Can you listen to someone's music or watch their movie if they do drugs? What if they cheated on their partner? What if they used to be racist but they no longer are? Also, is there any chance for forgiveness? I asked all of these questions and more to people on the streets of Seoul, which turned out to be very interesting. Also, if you're currently studying English, I highly recommend you join my channel membership. Without further ado, let's begin. Hey, how's it going? Where are you from?
I'm from Ukraine.
How long have you been in Korea?
I've been in Korea for about 6 months.
When is it okay to cancel some celebrity or politician or famous person?
I mean, if they're doing drugs, it's not good. It's their own life, so
Will you still watch the movie if they do drugs?
if they're a great actor, yes. But usually, drugs, it's their own life. I don't care. But if they're really politically incorrect, being racist or saying things that you're not supposed to say.
Being racist, that's an easy one. Or
Yeah, that's
I don't support
easy.
this guy.
Yeah, that's
Sexist.
yeah as well.
Hi, my name is Irina. I'm from Kazakhstan. Yeah, I've been in Korea 4 years. For example, USA, even if you do drugs and stuff, you can still be a celebrity.
Yeah. Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, really?
He used to be a very big addict with drugs and other stuff. Now he's Iron Man. Yeah.
Yeah. In Korea, it's kind of hard to do that. I know they're fanship. Either they're too really, really supporting, or they just canceling the actor.
When is it okay to cancel someone? What do they have to do?
So I think it's maybe better to separate their work and what they do. Maybe if they're criminals or do some really, really hard stuff or hurt someone.
I'm from Hungary.
Yeah.
I'm from Cyprus.
With canceling celebrities, I think we should separate their personal life and their work.
How much? Could you support a racist actor?
I'm not supporting them,
Okay.
but if he's a very good actor, but he's racist, but he's in a movie, I would watch the movie. And if he's good actor, his talent has nothing to do with his personal life and his racism. It's two different things. And if there is a movie and he's so good in it, I won't say he was bad because he's racist. I would say that he is good. And if someone asks what do I think about that he's racist, I would say, of course, I disagree with it.
Hey guys, how's it going? Where are you from?
Great. We are from France.
If someone goes that far to taking its own life, you never know what happens when you cancel someone, right?
Oh.
Even though I know sometimes some people do really bad things. In France, we had the same case with an actor, Pierre Palmade. It was an actor who was doing drugs and he killed someone by driving under the influence. Yeah, that was kind of a bad story, but you never know what happens then. So it's just human life. You can let your anger go on someone, but I think it's dangerous. You never know what happens.
You never know how they're going to react.
Yeah.
If an actor or a famous person does something that offends me personally, I won't work hard to cancel him, but I won't support him anymore, the way I did. If I learn that my favorite singer is a pedophile, I won't ever listen to it again.
Really? Even songs you used to like?
Yeah, I was a really big XXXTentacion fan, and when I heard that he was usually hitting his girlfriend who was pregnant at the time, I was like, okay, I can't really listen to it anymore.
Hey, how's it going? Where are you from?
I'm from Norway. I guess drugs is quite controversial here in Korea. So in Norway, nobody would care that much about it. Same with cheating. It would be a scandal and quite embarrassing. Obviously, people would look down upon them.
Yeah.
I don't think they would cancel. In Norway, if you're gonna get cancelled, you would probably have to express some racist views or something.
Oh, okay. So in Norway, it's okay to have a private life where maybe sometimes you drink, you do drugs, and then be a great actor. People will still support the actor.
Might be frowned upon, but unless it's too outlandish.
The career's not ruined.
Yeah, no, you'll be fine.
Racism is the line in Norway.
One of the lines, at least.
One of the lines.
It's like a hard line. I'm sure there's like softer lines and it's like incremental, but racism is like a black and white line.
Sure. Is that a pun? Black and white? Just kidding.
Not intended.
Okay. Hey, how's it going? Where are you from?
I'm from France and I'm pretty well.
How long have you been in Korea?
It's been like 3 months.
When is it okay to cancel someone for their private life actions?
You can cancel this person, but you don't have to bully this person. You know what I mean? It's like you can like stop doing things, like micro things, like stop supporting him, stop seeing his movies, but you don't have to go out of your way to harass this person.
Have you ever left a bad comment on
No.
YouTube? You sure?
Yeah, I am 100%.
Okay. Would you lean more towards on the side of let's cancel less people, or let's police more people?
In Korea, I would say cancel less because they cancel pretty quickly.
You do think so?
Yeah, for instance, like if someone smokes, the chances of them being cancelled are quite high, especially if they're like in K-pop industry or something, or like actors as well, I think. If they see like someone smoking, they're like, oh no, they're bad, like they smoke. Let's cancel them. It happens a lot.
Can I play devil's advocate? Is it possible that it's okay to cancel someone because maybe the logic is this person is so famous, other people are going to follow them. We need to make sure that this person gets punished. Does that maybe make sense then to cancel someone with this logic?
Yeah, sure. Like I said, I'm not against cancellation. I'm just not into it. Especially, like a star that's influential in front of very young people. That would be a good thing to cancel him if his behavior is really disgusting. So I would say that can be good. It can be a bad thing if it's something that is very brought up by social media and you don't have many evidence back there.
If like some people are really big fan of like some specific artist and they're gonna do like the same things, they're gonna buy the same things.
So they have influence.
Yeah, a lot. So like if they're doing something bad, it will have some kind of influence on them.
I think they should be responsible, like more responsible about like the image that they give in public. But when it comes to private life, we are all human. You also have to understand that these people are also human. They also make mistakes. They also like do what they want to do. And it's not because they are public people that you're allowed to just like, say so many bad things about them or to just like put the fault on them because you're not doing well.
Like it's better not to idealize the celebrity because we're also same people. We can have like mistakes. We can do mistakes, and they can also do bad stuff. So just not to idolize. Not to idolize the celebrities.
Could you support an actor who is addicted to drugs?
Yes, I could.
You could. Could you support an actor who believes in Satan?
No, I couldn't. It just go against my value.
Could you support an actor who used to be racist but has now apologized and they're like, okay, I love everybody now?
No.
So what does a celebrity, what does a public figure need to do in order to get forgiveness for being, let's just say, racist?
In my case,
Yeah.
I would not forgive.
Never.
I would not. It would just not be my type of person. It would just not be like the type of person I want to follow and I want to be proud of saying like, oh, I love this actor or something.
Do you believe that people can't really change from that kind of thing?
I don't think you can change. This is too deep, like racism or just like, big topic like this, homophobic or everything. If you are, there were a reason you were, and I don't think you can really, really change so much. And if so, that's good for you, but I would still not support you.
You don't want to buy the movie ticket.
No, exactly.
Okay.
I would not give you hate, but I would just not support you.
I would have a bad opinion about this one, but I would still say to myself, okay, maybe redemption is real. If the community that was targeted is okay with him, then I don't have any rights not to be.
Who's the leader of this community?
If you talk to a friend of yours and he said, I was shocked, but then it's okay. He understood and he got his redemption arc. I'd
What
say
if the community's split 50-50?
depends on your
I'm
own
torturing
likings.
you.
It's a very tough one.
Then would you support someone who used to be racist but is no longer racist?
I guess, probably, yeah.
So you believe people can change and it's okay to forgive them?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Would you support someone who believes in Satan but is a great actor? That's just their religion.
I wouldn't mind.
You wouldn't mind. It wouldn't matter because that's their private life.
Yeah.
People could change. I know it's
So forgiveness is important.
I think, yeah, but time will always heal things and reveal things. And so, yeah, I think that forgiveness first. If he's really a good person, we'll see it. If he is really a bad person, we'll see it either way. So
I'm going to throw everything at you.
Okay.
This actor, he's racist. He does drugs. He gambles. He drinks. He cheats on his wife. But he's a great actor. Are you okay with watching his work?
That's an interesting question because it depends how good the actor is.
He's very good.
I mean, if he's that good that when I'm watching his face, I can ignore his personal life, then it's okay. Not okay what he's doing, but it's okay that he's a good actor, you know?
Yeah.
in Korea, I think most celebrities, like actors and singers, are canceled, but it doesn't really happen with political personalities. Like recently, I think the wife of the president got into some scandal.
Yeah, with the stocks.
Yeah. And it was all like the medias were trying to shut it down, and yeah, I think there is a bit of a problem with
Hypocrisy too.
this. Yeah. I think, yeah.
So politicians are more immune from this stuff versus celebrities who are like, the media is just going to eat them up like sharks.
Yeah, this is what seems to happen here. We don't really have this in France. Like, if you're a politician or an actor, it's the same thing. Like, people will just tear you apart right away if you do something bad.
Yeah, so how cancel culture in France is less severe than here, right?
Oh, yeah. I would say, yeah. It's starting to grow, but it's way less severe. Like, people are more allowed to say things about politicians, I think. Yeah.
How is cancel culture in your countries?
In Hungary, it's not that bad actually, but sometimes it should be a little bit more because in my country, the government supports a lot of artists who are racist or homophobes or anything like this. They act like it never happened, and I can't separate their personal life and their work because they are not good enough in their job.
Oh, interesting.
No, we don't have that kind of things in my country, so yeah, no.
Thank you so much for talking to me.
Of course.
Bye.
I guess it's not as big as here. People tend to care less.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time. All right, bye. Is cancel culture a big thing, or is that an issue in France? Or is it more extreme here, would you say?
Oh, it's definitely more extreme here.
Yeah.
In Asia in general, I think it's way more extreme.
Celebrities have to be very clean, their image.
Yeah, I think so. I think it just started also with K-pop and everything.
Oh, yeah.
When like all the idols, they cannot have a girlfriend, they cannot have... When you've got such rule, like this kind of rules, you know that there is something bad about it. So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me. All right, see you later. Bye. Bye. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching this video. Did you enjoy it? If so, please let me know in the comments down below. Once again, I'm Sean, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.